Welcome, I'm Redden from Blue Gaming, and it's that time again. Siege has released a new season, and with that, 2 new operators. In this video, I'm going to be going over each operator's stats, whether or not I like them, and whether you should buy them if you don't have the season pass. Let's get right into this. Now in this particular season, Siege decided to release 2 defensive operators, so I'm just going to be going over them in order, starting with Maestro, who is a 3 armor 1 speed with his special gadget being the Evil Eye cameras. Maestro's 2 Evil Eyes can be deployed on any solid surface, and are bulletproof. They can only be destroyed through explosive or with Sledge's hammer. The Evil Eyes are both a camera and a turret. As a camera, it can rotate 180 degrees and has thermal vision allowing it to see through smoke. As a turret, the Evil Eye's armored casing can be opened up to allow for a laser to be shot out. These lasers deal 5 damage per shot at a rate of 4 shots per second, and the damage is not affected by armor rating. The turret cannot shoot forever though. After firing 20 shots, the gun will overheat, requiring a 5-second cooldown before you can start shooting again. The final ability of the Evil Eyes is that only Maestro is able to use them, meaning that no other defender can use the laser on the Evil Eye, or even turn it. And if it's hacked by Dokebi, they can only look through it and cannot turn it either, or use the laser. Now let's move on to Maestro's loadout. He has the ability to choose between 2 primaries and 2 secondaries. So let's go over the primaries first. The most popular of which is the Alda 5.56 light machine gun. Personally, I think that this is the best light machine gun in the game. It has a magazine size of 80+1 with a rate of fire of 900 rounds per minute. Its damage when unsuppressed is 35 per shot, and while suppressed it's 29 per shot, making it overall for a very powerful light machine gun. But the best thing about it is its hipfire accuracy. With a laser on it, it has accuracy that rivals Jackal's submachine gun. This is by far the most accurate light machine gun there is in the game. And while aiming down sights with a vertical grip, the recoil is very controllable, and you're able to easily stay on target. Since they gave Maestro the super powerful Alda 5.56 light machine gun, I knew that the other primary wasn't going to be nearly as amazing, but I didn't think that it was going to be this bad. I'm talking about the ACS-12 automatic shotgun. Now this shotgun has a magazine size of 30+1 with a rate of fire of 300 shells per minute. Its damage is 27 per pellet, but each shot fires 8 pellets. Now by those stats alone, and with this being an automatic shotgun, it could arguably be the best shotgun in the game. The problem is, they completely screwed up the recoil on it. If you fire the first shot aiming at the chest of your opponent, the second shot that you fire off will go into the ceiling because of how great the recoil is. Now I know that they had to balance the gun for the game, but they went a bit too far with this one. And the thing that really gets me is that the ACS-12 is designed after a real shotgun known as the Auto Assault 12 or the AA-12 that you've seen in many other games. Now the special thing about the AA-12 is that it has a built-in recoil dampening system that has been demonstrated to allow shooting the shotgun with an outstretched arm. That is how much the system dampens the recoil. And you're able to still stay on target with that outstretched arm. So seeing this in-game counterpart where you have a shot on target and then the second shot is like 50 degrees up in the air, it makes the gun unusable. So every Maestro that you're going to see is running with the Alda 5.56 light machine gun. Now let's move on to Maestro's secondaries. And since both of the new operators have the same secondary pistols, I'm just going to be covering them once here. And let's start with the more interesting of the two, being the Bailiff 410 Shotgun Revolver. The Bailiff can hold 5 shells with a rate of fire of 550 shells per minute. Each shell shoots out 4 pellets, each doing 30 damage. That means that this revolver can consistently kill in 2 to 3 shots, and it also has a built-in red dot sight. Personally, this is the sidearm that I use with Maestro if I'm expecting to have really close ranged fights. Although if I'm going for something more long range, I'll end up switching to the second pistol that Maestro has access to, which is the Karatos 357. The Keratos is also a revolver, but this time it shoots 357 Magnum, allowing it to hold 6 shells with a rate of fire of 550 rounds per minute, and it has a damage of 78 per shot if it's unsuppressed. If you do happen to put a suppressor on the Keratos, that damage drops down to 66. This gun is a 2 to 3 hit kill from most every range that you're going to be engaging at. And if you're shooting at someone that's already been injured, there's a very good chance that you're going to take them down in one hit. Now, as I said before, I used both of these handguns, and the only reason why I switched between them is because the Bellum 410 is better in close range, and the Keratos 357 is better in long range. Both have very manageable recoil, and they're both very good sidearms. Now let's move on to the second operator of Operation Parabellum, being Alibi. She is a 1-armor 3-speed, and her special ability is the Prisma Holograms. Alibi gets 3 of these Prisma Holograms, and what they do is when you throw them on the ground, they show a hologram of Alibi herself, but she has her default skin and is using the MX4 submachine gun with no attachments. If an attacker shoots or touches one of these holograms, they will start to be tracked. They will be tracked for 5 seconds, and it will update their location every second. Another unnamed ability that Alibi has is that when she's on the defending team, the identity of all defenders are completely hidden when a defender is identified by either being outside or by being tracked by Lion's E1D drone. Going back to her Prisma holograms, there are a few counters to it. As stated before, these projections are always equipped with Alibi's default uniform and with an unmodified MX4 Storm. They're also always aiming down sight, so if you're not doing one of these things, it will be easy to determine which one is the real Alibi. Drones will also not detect these displays if you try to detect enemies with them. Now, prismas can be destroyed by all operators by simply shooting at the base of the hologram, and it will destroy the prisma. And since they are electronics, there are a few other ways to take care of them. Thatcher's EMP grenade can disable prismas for a short period of time. Twitch's drone, since it has a shot on it, can easily destroy prismas. IQ's electronic detector will easily be able to see them, and Glaz's thermal system does not pick up the holograms. Now let's move on to talking about Alibi's loadout. Now we've already talked about almost everything that she carries. The Bellum 410 pistol, the Keratos 357 pistol, and the ACS-12 shotgun primary. The only thing that we haven't covered is her MX4 Storm submachine gun, so let's move on to that one. The MX4 has a magazine size of 30+1 with an incredible rate of fire of 950 rounds per minute. Each shot does 26 damage while unsuppressed and 22 damage while suppressed. The MX4 can use all standard submachine gun attachments, but it's advised that you don't use them so that you keep the same look as Alibi's holograms. Something that surprised me the first time that I used the MX4 Storm is that this gun has absolutely no recoil. I'm saying even if you try to add recoil to it, there is no recoil, even with no attachments. It also has very usable iron sights, so not using any attachments to look the same as the holograms is not setting you back in any way. And the final thing is that this is the weapon the holograms use, so even if the ACS-12 wasn't terrible, there still wouldn't be a reason to use it. And now that I've gone in depth over both of these new characters, let's answer the question of whether or not you should buy them. Now, I need to preface this answer with a little bit of background of what I've seen in the lobbies, both before everybody was able to get these two characters and after everybody was able to get to these two characters. And it's been the same story for both of them. Everywhere that I've seen, people are fighting over Alibi. And pretty much every single game, somebody's using Alibi. And every single round, somebody's using Alibi. But I've personally had more use out of Maestro, and I've done better with Maestro than I have with Alibi. Also, people aren't fighting over Maestro like they are Alibi. So this is kind of the thing influencing my decision. I think that they are both very good operators and that you should eventually get both of them. But because people are fighting over Alibi right now, it is not worth it to spend all that renown or those R6 credits to buy an operator that you're just going to have to fight over anyways. So I recommend that you get both of them, but I recommend that you get Maestro first because I haven't had to fight over Maestro nearly as much. Like, I have free pick a Maestro pretty much every single game, and he's a very strong operator with very strong ability, very strong weapon, and he's great. So I think that you should just pick Maestro up first. But if you're seeing this sometime in the future, check and see if Alibi is still being picked every single time. I know that this is eventually going to die down, and that Alibi is just going to be another pick. But for right now, if you're watching this video close to when it releases, I recommend picking up Maestro first and then Alibi. But here in a month, 2 months, definitely 3 months, if the next season has already come out, then it's really up to you. Do you want the fast operator, or do you want the slow bulking operator that has a huge LMG? So yeah, this time around, I think they did pretty good with the operators, and we'll have to see what they add in the next season. So, as always, I'm Ryden from Bellum Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one.